Brad Parscale, who used his position as the Trump campaign manager to essentially pay himself an insane amount of money and buy like sports cars, is now very upset that Donald Trump hasn't really reached out to him after he was hospitalized for threatening to harm himself and his partner in their own home. There was a video that we shared with you guys of the scene. He was arrested and taken into custody because he was a threat to himself and his wife. But stating all that, I do think it's important to just check in. Let's do a little wellness check on Parscale, see how he's doing and see if his fifis are okay now that Donald Trump has disposed of him.
Have you talked to the president lately?
I've not. And it's pretty hurtful, but it's probably just as much my fault as his. I love that family, and I gave every inch of my life to him. Every inch.
What would you say to him?
Keep fighting. Don't give up. Don't give up. The country needs you.
You heard it here, folks. Brad Parscale upset that he gave Trump every inch and Trump just did away with him. Every inch.
Both. That's not the expression. It's not an expression. I gave you everything I've got or something. That's at least a little bit vague, still a little bit sexy, but not every inch, man. Come on. He blames himself too. Trump won't talk to him. And he said, it's probably something I did. You're apologizing under a bus tire, you idiot.
There's more, We got, oh God, don't take it off. Don't take it off. That was what happened on the day that he was taken into custody. But there is one more video that we should check out. By the way, Fox edited out the SOT that we're about to show you. And it's not part of the longer interview. I don't know how we accessed it, but let's watch.
Look, I think the president's still clearly in a position that he might be able to pull this off. And I'm not ready to call it off yet. Because I think it's weird. I just think it's still weird that, things like in Pennsylvania, they'll votes keep coming in day after day after day after day. Arizona, every 2 hours, the votes kept coming in. But states like had it really organized, Florida and Ohio, easily pulled away.
God, it's so sad. Like I almost feel bad for him. Also,
almost.
The head size and face ratio among conservative men is fascinating. Like there has to be some sort of study done to figure out if there's some sort of correlation between conservatism and heads that are too big for face size.
I know.
Like that needs to happen.
Is it like one of those subtle signs of testosterone that they're always looking for? Like they're always obsessed with like their wrist to arm width and stuff. Do they believe that like a strong face compresses down to the size of a diamond? I don't understand it.
We got to look at the science, and I believe science. So
yeah. No, he's a terrible person who tried to do terrible things. He was right, at least in the interview. He said that Trump could have won if he had taken COVID seriously. He doesn't say seriously, like he's not actually advocating for Trump to have protected people's lives, but he says he should have shown some empathy. But like you were the campaign manager for months during the pandemic, so. Were you doing anything? Were you just stealing the money? Is that how you spend all of your time?
Well, luckily, maybe he'll explain exactly what you're asking in this next video. No, he won't. In fact, in this next video, he is going to offer a reason for why Trump lost if there really wasn't voter fraud. Watch.
We lost of suburban families, right? The men and women in the suburbs, Philly suburbs, Atlanta suburbs. I think that goes to one thing. And I think it was a decision on COVID to go for opening the economy versus public empathy. And I think a young family with a young child who were scared to take them back to school, wanted to see an empathetic president and an empathetic Republican Party. And I think that, and I said this multiple times, and he chose a different path. And I don't think anything's wrong with this. I love him, but we had a difference on this. I thought we should have public empathy. I think people were scared. I walked around people and watched people walk around me. Not like 2 years ago and they just don't walk next because I'm Brad Parscale, but walk around me because I got a mask on now and they just don't want to get COVID. I could see how waitresses stand a little farther from the table. People are scared. And I think I think if he would have been publicly empathetic, he would have won by a landslide.
Yeah, so if Donald Trump had only listened to the very empathetic Brad Parscale, a guy who was taken into custody for threatening to harm himself and his wife, he might have won. He might have won. Just needed to listen to Brad Parscale. This guy.
Look, I think he's right. I think.
No, look, I don't believe for a second that Brad Parscale told him that he needs to be more empathetic.
Sure. Yes.
But like he's positioning himself as, I agree with the message. I don't believe that he actually tried to get that message across to Donald Trump. He was, I remember when he was working for the campaign, all he was doing was like paying himself an insane amount of money and like treating himself to sports cars, was living life, like putting all sorts of garbage on social media. His actions at the time did not demonstrate that of an empathetic person, basically.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.